My name is Tommaso, and I'm a previous international business student at the Han University of Applied Sciences coming from Italy. For this section, I am joined with our international student, Cristina, studying life sciences, and also with our representative from the international office, Magda. First of all, thank you very much, you guys, for joining during this section. We're really, really happy to have you over. Today, we will be covering during this section, we will be covering some practical facts and matters about studying at the Han, what it is like, and we will also be diving into really being a student at the Han, what is it like also to be international and everything like that. All right, so first of all, to get started, Cristina, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? What are you doing and how do you like your study program so far?
Yes, so I'm a life science student. That's basically molecular biology. And I'm a third year student. I can say that I really found my passion. From the moment I joined this bachelor, I know it was the right choice for me. We do a lot of practical work. We really focus on understanding the molecular basis of how the cell works and how this whole environment interacts with one another. And I feel like it's such an interesting approach. It's not highly theoretical. It's very practical, and that's something that I really love about it.
Wonderful. Thank you for introducing yourself. And Magda, how about you? What do you get to do at the international office at the Han?
Well, I work at the international office. We do a number of things, and I myself am mainly concerned with the incoming students, so bachelor, masters, but also exchange students. We have offices in both campuses, Arnhem and Nijmegen, and I work in both of them. And I've been with the university for more than 15 years already.
All right, perfect. So let's start off with a very general question that we get asked all the time, especially because here in the Netherlands, we have this difference between universities of research and universities of applied sciences. And I feel like perhaps some of the students applying don't really know exactly what that entails. For example, that was my case prior to applying, because in my country, we don't have any difference whatsoever. So Magda, would you mind walking us through this a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I would say that the main difference between a traditional research university and Han, University of Applied Sciences, is that we put a little bit more emphasis on the practical component in each study program. Like Cristina already mentioned, there's a lot of practical work involved. That also implies close ties to the professional field. In most cases, from year one on, you already do a sort of a small internship during semester one. So the emphasis is really also not just on the theoretical part, but also on the practical part. And I think every module, depending on the module, of course, has a division between theory and practice, and that could be 70% theory, 30% practice, but you also have completely practical modules, or where the ratio is a little bit different, but there's always eye for the hands-on approach. That is what sets out University of Applied Sciences from a research university.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Cristina?
Yes, I can say that. Thing is, at first it's really 50-50, I feel like, but the more you go on, it becomes 70-30%. Like now we do a lot of practical, which is very good, because as I'm studying life sciences, it's very important that you know how to work in a lab, and you need to get experience to do that. So I feel like it becomes more and more practical as you go on, and when you get to an internship, you have all of that practical knowledge. So it really helps you.
Yes, right. So you are studying in your third year currently.
Yes.
Have you already gotten to do your internship?
No, I haven't started yet. I'm going to do them in my fourth year.
Okay.
But I've done my major, which is my specialization. And I'm also doing my minor now, which has a lot of practical work. So my major was, again, 5 days a week going to the lab and having theory lessons as well. And the theory lessons were really complementary to the practical work that I was doing. Now I also do 5 times a day lab work, and then when I have the internships where I have to be there every day, 8 hours, I'm just going to be prepared to do it.
Wonderful.
So I think it's great.
Yes. And thank you very much also for clarifying this matter, because I feel like sometimes we do get the questions from students asking, do I actually get enough theory in order to apply this theory to the practice or to the group work or to also like an actual internship, because in some study programs you get to do an internship already in your third year, and so you only had 2 years of studying. And so that pretty much answers the questions, because yes, you have some modules, like in your case, that are almost fully theoretical in a way, right?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful. So, of course, when it comes to like applying for a study program, you also really are looking into what you can do afterwards. I feel like that's really one of the major things that comes to mind when people or young students are applying for higher education. What does that look like at the Han University of Applied Sciences? Can students find a job easily after graduating?
I think they can, because the job market is really in need of highly skilled employees in almost every area. So I think the job opportunities, once you graduate from one of the Han programs, are really, really good, especially nowadays. It depends, of course, a little bit on the kind of study program that you did, but they're good overall, and they're especially good in the engineering area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel like international students also, like from your experience working in the international office, do you feel like they are also willing to work within the Dutch market once they graduate, or do they often go back to their home countries?
Well, of course, it depends on what is your personal aspirations in life, whether you want to stay here and start your career and maybe even a family life. But yeah, there are quite a good number of students that do want to be part of the Dutch labor market, especially because our labor market is rather internationally oriented already, so it's easier for international students to fit in and to find a job that suits their needs. Yeah, so some of them really do enjoy becoming Dutchies.
Cristina, do you already have some plans for whenever you will be graduating? Do you feel like you will remain in the Netherlands or maybe go back to your home country?
Yes, I will definitely want to remain here. I feel like after 4 years of being in the Netherlands, I really got accustomed to the culture. And there are just some memories. I feel like it's the biggest part of my life is the life that I lived here. So I feel like this is my home now. So I really want to live here. I really want to stay here. And I had an internship interview recently, and I just went there, and it was only full of Dutch people, but the moment they saw me, they just switched to English, and they just made me feel like I'm part of them, you know, and that kind of warmth that you have to never feel like you don't belong there. They always make you feel like you belong there and you're welcome here. It's something that it's very unique to this country, and which I really like.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing this, because I feel like also from the people at home watching, like when you're an international student going so far away to a different country, that is really the feeling that you want to have, like that you're moving to a country that is accepting you and that is welcoming you with open arms, and that is also willing to embrace everything that you have to offer as an international student. So that's really, really encouraging for sure. Talking about international experiences, of course, definitely studying in the Netherlands per se is already an international experience for any international student. But I want to hear from Cristina, when you come to the Netherlands, do you actually need to learn Dutch, or do you need to be able to communicate with other people?
I feel like you don't have to learn Dutch. I feel like the environment is very international. I am originally from Romania, and I can say that there a lot of people don't speak English. So that is quite a problematic, I would say. But here, with any person, any age that they might have, older or younger, they can communicate very well in English. So you absolutely do not have to learn Dutch. However, I feel like if you want to make friends and stay here later on, learning the language is a must. Which makes sense. And it's also nice to really understand what's happening, because in the breaks, if you have fellow Dutch students, they will speak in Dutch. And if you don't understand anything, you might feel left out. So I feel like learning a bit of Dutch, just the basics, in 3 to 4 years, you can definitely learn some basics.
I agree. Do you agree as well?
I do agree, and that's why we offer a course, beginner's course in Dutch language. It's called Social Dutch.
Yes.
And it lasts, it's a short course, it's only 8 weeks. But then you learn the basics, and you learn how to say hi and good morning and thank you. And I think it's highly appreciated in Dutch society if you make an effort to address someone in their original language, especially the older generation.
Yes.
And it's easier to feel at home, I think, if you maybe if you just can say a few words to the cashier or someone in the train, or maybe help someone out.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more, really. So you mentioned this social Dutch course. How does it work and how do you apply for it?
You can apply for it, but we'll give you more information once you get here during the orientation week, the introduction week. You can sign up for it online. It is done by the Han Language Center. And like I said, you can either do it online, in an online course, or offline on campus in Arnhem or in Nijmegen. And it's 10 weeks. No, I said 8 weeks. It's 8 weeks.
8
yes,
weeks.
sorry. So it's really doable next to your major program.
Yes. Have you followed this social Dutch course?
I did,
Yeah?
and I can say that I met one of my best friends there.
Oh,
I can
wonderful.
say that it's so fun, and it really, really helps you. And the teacher is so kind, and it never interfered with my study. So it was always in the evenings. So that was perfect.
Yeah, sounds really manageable then if
Yes,
it's during the evening time to combine it together with your other duties, of
Yes.
course.